Welcome to YQ Academy Core Java Interview Questions and Answers. 1. Explain purpose of sleep method in Java. The sleep method in Java is used to pause the execution of a thread for a specified period of time. It allows the programmer to introduce a delay or wait for a certain amount of time before the thread continues its execution. The sleep method is part of the thread class and is commonly used in multi-threaded programs for various purposes. 1. Delay. The sleep method is often used to introduce a delay in the execution of a thread. By specifying a certain time period in milliseconds, the thread pauses its execution for that duration before resuming. 2. Timing and synchronization. The sleep method can be used to control the timing and synchronization of threads. It allows threads to wait for a specific time interval before executing certain actions, which can help in coordinating the execution of multiple threads. 3. Resource management. The sleep method is also useful for managing system resources. By pausing the execution of a thread, it can free up system resources temporarily and prevent excessive CPU usage. 4. Animation and time-based operations. In applications involving animations or time-based operations, the sleep method can be used to control the timing and pace of the operations. It can be used to create smooth animations or ensure that certain actions occur at specific intervals. 2. Can sleep method cause another thread to sleep? No, the sleep method does not directly cause another thread to sleep. Each thread in Java operates independently, and the sleep method only affects the execution of the thread in which it is called. When a thread calls the sleep method, it suspends its own execution for the specified amount of time, allowing other threads to run. However, it does not affect the execution of other threads directly. The scheduling and execution of threads are controlled by the thread scheduler of the operating system. 3. Explain about interrupt method of thread class. The interrupt method is used to interrupt the execution of a thread in Java. When a thread is interrupted, it sets the interrupt status of the thread to true and can interrupt the thread's execution, depending on how the interrupted thread handles the interrupt signal. It's important to note that the interrupt method does not forcefully stop or terminate a thread. It provides a cooperative mechanism for threads to handle interruptions and gracefully exit their execution or perform any necessary cleanup. 4. Explain about interthread communication and how it takes place in Java. Interthread communication refers to the mechanism through which threads in a Java program can communicate and synchronize their actions. It allows threads to coordinate their execution and exchange data in a controlled and orderly manner. In Java, interthread communication is typically achieved using two methods: wait and notify, along with their variants notify all and wait long timeout. 1. Wait. When a thread wants to wait for a specific condition to be satisfied, it calls the wait method on the shared object. This causes the thread to release the lock on the object and enter a waiting state. The thread will remain in the waiting state until another thread calls notify or notify all on the same object. 2. Notify and notify all. When a thread wants to notify waiting threads that a certain condition has been met, it calls the notify or notify all method on the shared object. This wakes up one or all of the waiting threads, allowing them to reacquire the lock on the object and continue their execution. The choice between notify and notify all depends on the desired behavior. Notify wakes up a single waiting thread, while notify all wakes up all waiting threads. 3. Synchronization. Interthread communication relies on proper synchronization using the synchronized keyword or explicit locks. Both the wait and notify methods must be called from within a synchronized block or method on the same shared object. This ensures that only one thread can be actively executing the critical section of code at a time. 4. Condition checking. Threads typically use a loop to check for the desired condition before calling wait. This is because multiple threads can be awakened from the waiting state even if the condition they were waiting for is not yet satisfied. The loop allows the thread to recheck the condition and continue waiting if necessary. 5. Explain IllegalMonitorStateException and when it will be thrown. The IllegalMonitorStateException is a checked exception in Java that is thrown to indicate that a thread has attempted to perform an operation on a monitor object's monitor that it does not own. This exception is typically thrown when one of the following conditions occurs. 1. Calling wait, notify, or notify all. When calling any of these methods, the thread must hold the lock on the object's monitor. If the thread does not own the monitor, an IllegalMonitorStateException is thrown. To avoid this exception, these methods should be called from within a synchronized block or method that looks on the same object. 2. Calling wait, notify, or notify all on a non-synchronized object. If a thread attempts to call one of these methods on an object that is not synchronized not locked by any thread, an IllegalMonitorStateException is thrown. To use these methods, the thread must synchronize on the object using the synchronized keyword. 3. Calling wait with a negative timeout. When calling the wait-long timeout variant of the wait method, the timeout value should be a non-negative number. If a negative value is provided, an IllegalMonitorStateException is thrown. This is the end of our Java interview questions. We hope you enjoyed learning with YQ Academy. Until another time, goodbye.